Hey folks, this is KCJ, and today with me I've got the Audeze Maxwell. It's a wireless gaming headset from Audeze. I have specifically the Xbox version, hence why it's got that green accent on the Audeze logo. This is a Planar Magnetic wireless gaming headset. Can also be used in wired mode, but it comes in at $329. And you might be saying, that's a lot. You can also get the PlayStation version for $299. If you don't have an Xbox, then save yourself some money. But this really stands as something special, I think, especially at its price point. And if you're an audiophile, if you're somebody who really cares about audio in general, I think this is something you should consider, especially if you're looking for that balance of convenience. And Audeze's been working on it for numerous years now to really deliver high quality sound to consumers. And they're bringing it to a price point that is incredibly competitive, even with much more expensive audiophile headphones from tons of different brands. You know, even coming from something like the Expanse, I don't put on the Maxwell and scoff. Really, if anything, I'm impressed with it. This has got a pretty fantastic build for a gaming headset, especially. I've reviewed and checked out numerous gaming headsets, and in general, I feel like a lot of them are very plasticky, very cheap, and even Audeze's own previous generation gaming headset, I mean, look at this thing. Very, very plasticky. If you had a chunky head, then these would end up just kind of cracking and breaking here. So just kind of by comparison here, we're looking at definitely an improvement of the overall build materials. So build quality, I think, is overall fantastic, especially among gaming headsets. Even wired audiophile headphones in this kind of like $300 price bracket. Now, in terms of comfort, I was surprised. I put this on and it's heavy, but it was always the headband, I think, in general, that I always really worry about with headphones, is whether or not I'm going to receive, a lot of pressure, create a hot spot pressure point at the top of my head. And so I put these on, and I'm very happy to report that I don't really have that problem with this. I've been using this headphone for the past few days now. I've clocked in somewhere between 20 and 30 hours, and that fatigue never came, which is something for me because my head is very picky. As you can see here, we've got pretty big ear cups, so pretty good for my ears in general. I don't find any discomfort there. And then if you need to make adjustments with the headband, if you look at this mechanism right here, you can actually just lift this up off of these screws right here. You don't want to unscrew them. You can just lift it up and then move it to these other holes that are available here. So comfort has been fantastic. In terms of pad swapping, you can actually do that. I've seen people getting like wicked cushions already. But there's the Planar Magnetic driver under there with a quick turn, just like that. They come right off. Like, look at that difference. One is definitely a little bit more claustrophobic. This right here over time would get a little bit painful, but you had to break these in more. Whereas this, you didn't have to break it in. All right. Connectivity wise, you get a dongle. Here it is. It'll go to USB-C on your Mac or your iPad or your Windows PC, etc. You'll just toggle into PC mode. All right. How does it sound? Well, that's kind of the amazing thing here, is it's one of the best closed back headphones I have heard, especially at this price point. I think of something like the DT700 Pro X, and I've got that actually right here. They kind of have like a similar amount of bulk in general, and build quality has some degree of comparability, that's for sure. But this has a mini XLR, you know, whereas this has the ability to do a dongle if you want high resolution wireless, Bluetooth, 3.5 millimeter, and USB-C. So you can actually use it USB-C directly into your computer and use it that way. Knowing that, I mean, you got a lot of options to get high quality sound out of this thing. I think it was like diffuse field target curve. Audeze seems to be kind of going in that general direction, but it is tuned very well, very pleasant. There's no harshness. It wasn't overly bright when I was listening to things like guitars, especially like highly distorted guitars and like alternative and metal music. Everything sounded like it's kind of like a studio headphone in some sense. Vocals were always very kind of right where they needed to be in the mix. Nothing ever kind of pushed vocals too far. It really seems like a headphone that you could use in the studio. But then at the same time, you have the kind of the punch and slam of a planar magnetic driver on the low end. You've got this nice bass. You could certainly go as far as EQing it a bit further. Audeze's planar magnetic drivers have typically done really well with that, but just with the standard Audeze house curve, these sound fantastic. And I think I would maybe go as far as saying like I prefer this over the HiFem and Sundara. The Sundara tends to be a little bit more, definitely more bright sounding, and this is kind of just like right on the target, where it's like this isn't harsh, this isn't too laid back, this is just where I would want it to be, especially for music. For gaming, you know, I don't game nearly as much these days, but I did play some games with this. I would say like imaging overall is solid. I think that stereo separation's great. If you're looking to do gaming on this, I mean, it's a gaming headset. That's how they market it, especially. You can use Dolby Atmos with it, especially with the Xbox version, comes with a Dolby Atmos license. Now, for microphone quality, that was another interesting thing. They're using some of the things that they learned from creating the Audeze filter. And what I found is like it's also fantastic for audio in terms of speech. Let me do a demo of that right now, in fact. I'm going to start with the integrated microphone because there happens to be one, but there is a boom microphone. Turn this on. All right, so hopefully you can hear me now. This is the integrated microphone. It's serviceable. It's a beamforming microphone. It's like right over here, I believe. Now noise suppression is off. You might be able to hear a little bit more background noise. Like if I'm clapping while talking, you can hear my clapping right now. But if I switch to low suppression and start clapping, you'll hear less of it. And then if I switch to noise suppression high, and I start clapping again, you should ideally really not hear my clapping at all as I'm talking. So that's how that sounds. Now I'm going to switch over to the boom real quick. All right, and so now I'm on the boom. I'm still got noise suppression high enabled, but you can tell it definitely sounds a lot better compared to the integrated beamforming microphone. So if you're gaming, I would definitely be using the boom, but maybe if you needed to like make a call, you're in a pinch, maybe you're walking around the house doing laundry or something like that, listening to music, then, you know, you don't have to be running around to go pick up the boom and put it in just to answer a phone call. So I think that's still a great feature. Hopefully you think it's decent. I also did a test directly wired over USB-C, and I didn't really hear a difference. That may be different with 3.5 millimeter, but at least over USB-C and the dongle, there's not really a difference in the sound quality. So I think overall, this is a fantastic product. I just think this is a much better package. You've got really good sound isolation. So if you really care about active noise cancellation, I mean, the passive noise isolation already on this is fantastic. Once I'm in a game or listening to music, I don't really hear anything around me. But just in general, this is just a fantastic headphone. Great for music, great for gaming, and up to 80 hours of battery life. I think a lot of people should really be excited about this. I think if you're an enthusiast, if you really care about audio quality and you really care about a good user experience overall, there's a lot to love about this. And so check it out. It's Audeze Maxwell. This is KCG. Have a good one.